would suggest that he be there, but there isn't a whole lot of logic that operates here. And it occurred to me as we were talking about this, Chris, and I know that...
Okay, not a lot of logic, so let's see what Mike Florio, let's see his logic.
Not represented by a traditional agent. There are people who are advising him. I don't know if he's listening. I don't know what kind of advice he's getting. He's either...
So here, he doesn't know what advice he's getting. He doesn't know anything. Let's see what he says about it.
Ignoring good advice, or he's getting bad advice, frankly. And we've been... people get mad. Oh, leave the man alone. It's like, look, I'm trying to help the guy. We're trying to help the guy. The guy's making a mistake. The guy's putting millions of dollars at risk when he doesn't need to. They're
trying to help the guy because you really care about him, don't you? Okay, so we're here with Mike Florio and Chris Sims. Just a reminder, these guys are making a lot of money to talk about football, so let's see what they have to say about Lamar Jackson.
John Harbaugh, Ravens coach, playing it the way that he has to play it. Not allowed to say or do anything to create the impression that participation in off-season workouts is anything but voluntary. Even
it is voluntary. The workouts are voluntary. That's why they're called voluntary workouts. So why is it such a big deal that somebody didn't go to a voluntary workout?
Now, we have talked this week, Chris, about a variety of players, each of whom had, with the exception of Aaron Rodgers, an important business reason for not being there.
So everyone who's missing has an important business thing, and Lamar doesn't have an agent, so you wouldn't know if he has an important business thing, and he does because his contract is still pending, so he does have a reason, but that's not the reason he's not there. It's voluntary. He's missed 3 days.
Short-term, long-term contractual expectations, whether it's Deebo Samuel wanting his now, whether it's Kyler Murray, we're going to talk about him in a little bit, wanting his long-term security. Aaron Rodgers, no reason for him, frankly, to not be there, especially when you consider the current state of their receiver room. He should be there. You and I agree on that, even though it is voluntary. Lamar Jackson, this just adds to this
the weirdest thing ever.
Mystery.
Mystery.
Lamar Jackson, take our money. No thanks. Lamar Jackson, you play the quarterback position in a high...
Okay, let's stop there. There's another part that's coming up that we're going to talk about, but so they said
Lamar Jackson, you play be there, especially when you consider the current state of their receiver room. He should be there. You and I agree on that, even though it is voluntary. Lamar Jackson, this just adds to this weird situation where so the Ravens want to pay him, but if Lamar doesn't take the money now, his price goes up every single year by a lot, like probably 3 to 5 million a year. So why wouldn't he wait till the end of his deal to sign something when it would be way more money? Mystery. Lamar Jackson, take our money.
And they say, oh, they're going to bring this up on the other part.
You play the quarterback position in a highly physical way that exposes you to the risk of injury that most other quarterbacks don't have.
Exposes you to injury. So something that I've watched every single game of Lamar's, and the one thing that I cannot explain is how he does it, how he doesn't get big hits. Like he's so quick and he's so nimble that he doesn't put himself in situations to be hit hard. And I've seen so many times when Lamar they barely get him because he's so quick and stuff like that. So that's that he doesn't really get injured. Like the only time he got injured was when he was in the pocket. So we're still bringing up these outdated, oh, he's going to get hurt if he runs too much arguments, which these guys, I wasn't even sure if this video was posted yesterday or today because that criticism is just outdated.
So you probably better take our money before something happens that would cause us to not want to give you that money or anyone.
And this makes no sense because if we look even like a couple years ago, Dak Prescott injured, still got the bag. So I don't know what these guys are talking about. If he gets injured, he won't get the money because if he's Lamar Jackson, he's going to get Lamar Jackson money. And if he waits, he's going to get even more money. And he wants to be a billionaire, so it makes sense for him to wait if you think about it like a normal person.
Anyone else to want to give you the money? Nah, thank you, I'm fine. Refuses to engage the team, pushes back against the idea.
Refuses to engage with the team. How does he know this? There's no reports or anything. It's just an assumption that, oh, Lamar doesn't like the Ravens for some reason, just to get some views on your video.
That he wants out when people try to figure out why it is they won't take the team's money and is instead working his way.
Lamar told you why he won't take the team's money. I don't need to explain it again.
Toward the Kirk Cousins 2 franchise tags and out the door, if it even gets to that point. I think the Ravens get exasperated and trade him before it gets to that point. Don't know.
Oh,
that.
so you heard it here first. The Ravens are going to trade Lamar once he doesn't sign his extension.
But I think that happens before they'd ever go 2 straight years under the franchise tag, and the first tag year is next year. Now, on top of it, he's not there for the OTAs. Hollywood Brown is gone. They're trying to get Rashad.
And he's not
Bateman
even there for the OTAs? The 3 practices that are voluntary?
Receiver role. You got other guys in there, and Lamar Jackson not participating in the OTAs.
Yeah.
And
injuries at the end of last year. Players hurt. Him hurt. They lost continuity.
It's not training camp. It's literally OTAs.
No, you're fine. Harbaugh, number 1, did the right thing because coaches can't say anything to suggest it's not voluntary. But number 2, it's the perfect way to tee this up. Like, hey, Lamar can speak for himself, and I'd kind of like to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, I
don't
that's
know.
What he's saying. I feel
we'll get to what Lamar said after this video.
I don't know why the hell he's not here.
Right.
He hasn't told us.
Yeah.
Ask him because he won't tell me.
Yeah. I mean, you said it right. It adds to the weirdness. I don't get it. I don't. The whole thing, the contract situation, and I don't understand. Again, I
don't know how they don't understand that every year the price tag goes up. So why would you sign for a full $15 million less than if you waited out your contract? It's just it's better for the club and not better for the player. So why would the player accept that, like, right now?
Hard worker, he's dedicated. I don't doubt that he's not getting his work done wherever he's at right now in South Florida or wherever. I don't doubt that. I think he's fully invested in the sport. But I still don't understand why he wouldn't be there, for all the reasons you said, first off. And, again, sometimes I boil it down to, like, I go back to, I've heard Lamar Jackson say he wants to win Super Bowls. He wants to win a bunch of Super Bowls. I mean, I think there was a time where he was like, I want to be like Brady. You remember him saying that early in his career. Well, Brady wouldn't be missing OTAs in year 4 of his career. That's where I want to say to some of these young quarterbacks. I hear like, I want to be like Brady. I want to have a career like Brady. Well, then do what Brady.
Lamar clapped back on Chris Sims about this, so stay prepared till the end to see that.
Brady didn't miss an OTA until he had played in 4 Super Bowls and, started to get married and then started to miss a few OTAs. But then things didn't go that great in 2010 and 11 and 12. And you know what he started doing? I'm going to be back at OTAs. I'm going to get a little bit better, and we need this. That's where, just from the football standpoint, I just don't get it. I don't at all.
At one point, the owner of the team, Steve Bisciotti, said that he believes, and I think this is the message he has sent, that Lamar Jackson is committed to having the best possible season he can, winning a Super Bowl, and then that's when he deserves his second contract. So if that's true, he should be there. If he's motivated to have the best season ever before he earns the contract that he already has earned, but if he thinks there's more he needs to do to earn that contract, then you should be there.
100%.
If you're all in, if you're committed, if this is all about having the...
Again, let's just reiterate that this is just the first set of OTAs, just the 3 days that they've done so far, and this is the reaction that Lamar's getting.
Best possible Lamar Jackson season that you can have, then you should be there. Because otherwise, it makes no sense.
Well, yeah, exactly. And to couple, like you laid it out, got new tight ends, got a new receiver you're trying to work here, some other receivers you're trying to break in. And in all honesty, too, here's the other part of it. I mean, that last year was Lamar Jackson's worst year of his career so far. I mean, he did not play as good as he's played previous to that. He was not the...
Lamar had a couple bad games and then he got injured, so I guess it's not the best, but he did start out really good. His team was 8-3 while all these injuries, so Lamar was still winning until he got injured. And then he had a couple bad games, but everybody has bad games.
Same guy. I mean, he's still electric and one of the biggest difference makers in the world. I get that, but still had more moments of inconsistency and not playing to a Lamar Jackson type level, to where I would think that would add to, let me get back in there and let's get back in the lab and start working out here. So that's where, I'm really surprised, because I don't feel like it's in his DNA to be like this or whatever. Maybe he just has taken a few days off. Maybe he just went, I'm going to miss the first 3 OTAs. I don't know, but still seems odd to me, and I'm with you. I think he should be there.
But he still knows what message that sends, or he should know what message that sends.
Right.
And again, if the goal is to have a Super Bowl champion,
I'm pretty sure Lamar is not worried about sending messages to people. I don't think he's thinking about that at all. I think he's just a private guy.
championship season, be the best Lamar Jackson ever, you be there for every OTA. You've had plenty of time off. You have time off after that. This is about getting if this is true, that the objective is to be as good as you can be this season and set yourself up for your payday after that, then logic would suggest that he be there. But there isn't a whole lot of logic that operates here. And it occurred to me as we were talking about this, Chris, and I know that...
Okay, not a lot of logic, so let's see what let's see his logic.
Not represented by a traditional agent. There are people who are advising him. I don't know if he's listening. I don't know what kind of advice he's getting. He's either...
So here, he doesn't know what advice he's getting. He doesn't know anything. Let's see what he says about it.
ignoring good advice, or he's getting bad advice, frankly. And we've been... people get mad. Oh, leave the man alone. It's like, look, I'm trying to help the guy. We're trying to help the guy. The guy's making a mistake. The guy's putting millions of dollars at risk when he doesn't need to. They're
trying to help the guy because you really care about him, don't you? That's why you're always criticizing him and everything.
ready to pay him. I wonder if at some level he thinks that the way he's performed...
I wonder if he thinks this. How about just analyze?
...means that the team... shouldn't even try to negotiate with him. That they should just drop on the table in front of him top of the market money, an offer that he would accept, an offer that he can't refuse. I shouldn't even have to negotiate with you. We shouldn't have to sit down and hash this out. You should just come to me.
You should just do whatever I want you to do.
With Deshaun Watson's contract, $230 million, fully guaranteed over 5 years, and maybe even more than that, because I won an MVP and he didn't.
Right.
But I just can't help but wonder whether, from his perspective, there is logic. It's very simple. It's very basic. It's very clean. You want me to sign a long-term contract, don't force me to get my hands dirty with all this back and forth. Just give me the contract that you're ultimately going to give me anyway. Put it on the table, and let's go. Make me the highest-paid player in league history. Do it.
I'm pretty sure the Ravens have that offer, but it takes Lamar Jackson to accept the offer, or Lamar can wait until next year and get more money. What would Lamar want to do, huh? He's kind of shown that he wants to go that second route, but let's just analyze it a little bit more.
And let's go. Put it there, and when I realize that it is what it needs to be, I'll accept it. I don't... It's hard for a team to do that, because if you put your bottom line out there, you're going to get negotiated away from it. And if you put it out there as a taker to leave it bottom line, that sends a bad message too. So I just can't help but wonder whether that's the only thing that makes sense here. That he's upset that they haven't just come to him with...
They're upset that they haven't come to him, even though EDC said that it's not his job to go and get Lamar every time. It's
negotiable without saying non-negotiable, but a no need to negotiate. Bottom line, big package, make him the highest paid player, and the fact that they haven't done that is what has him miffed. I don't know, but
maybe. I mean,
there's something going on. Something strange is going on here.
I know.
It's not in his interest to be doing this.
No, as
it's not in his interest to be doing this. That's all we care about is his interest.
They seem to be willing to pay him, up to the top tier of the market. It doesn't seem like, I don't know whether they're going to make him just the hands down highest paid guy. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to do that. I'm sorry. As much as I love Lamar Jackson, the style of football he plays and everything there, I wouldn't want to make him the highest paid quarterback in football. It would scare me a little bit. It would. Again, some of the other guys that have been paid, whether you go Mahomes or Josh.
So they seem scared about giving Lamar money, but Deshaun Watson, who might not even play next year, is fine to get a whole bunch of money and fully guaranteed too.
Watson.
That's
The
not a
one thing
risk.
I'll say about them is they've shown the ability, in my opinion, to go, wait, even when we can't run or do that, like, we're still going to be really awesome in the pocket and be able to.
But what if you can't pass? What if they shut down your pass and then you're just screwed? While Lamar, if they shut down the pass, he can run. If they shut down the run, he can pass. I think he does that just as well as anybody.
Carve you up that way. Lamar Jackson, it's good there, but it's not to their level to where you go, well, when he loses a step or two.
Oh, when he forgets how to run the ball, or when he takes the thing that makes him special and is just it isn't there anymore, then that's when he's in trouble. When he can't do exactly what he's good at.
We know he'll carve people up in the pocket still, no problem. I think that's still debatable. And from that standpoint, and then the style of play and the year we're at.
You can tell that they haven't watched any Lamar games whatsoever, saying how he takes big hits and he's gets injured, or he plays a way that he's going to get injured, or all this stuff just shows that they haven't watched him. And they got this huge stage and they haven't even watched him play.
In the career, I wouldn't want to pay him just, hey, here you go, $250 million guaranteed or something like that. Absolutely not. I would definitely tread lightly there, but they got to find that sweet spot. And they seem to, like, from everything we hear from Baltimore, it seems like they're willing to go, hey, here's the sweet spot for us, but we'll go a little over to your side because we like you so much. I mean, it seems that way from the language.
It seems that way.
Like
How about get some actual sources?
It's awkward for them. They would much rather he be represented by an agent, and if he had...
Oh, here we go. Oh, you got to get an agent or else he's just not going to do this correctly.
Quarterback agents, and I've said this before, it's not all that hard to put a list together. 4 or 5 of the top quarterback agencies, they could work out a deal fairly quickly, and yes, he would have to pay them a small percentage of the total gross amount.
Oh, you have to pay an agent instead of getting your mother to act as your agent and hiring a lawyer to pay him less. Oh, but you need an agent. You need an agent so we can know what's going on, so we don't have to speculate the whole time and make up stuff and say that, oh, he's gonna get hurt, or oh, they don't want to pay him, or Lamar doesn't want to be paid. It's just a speculation.
More than he has now, definitely more than he would get on his own. And it would be money well spent because he would be eliminating the risk of some sort of an injury that would make him not attractive to that.
So apparently getting an agent makes him take away the risk of getting injured. That's what I just got from this. Okay, Florio.
That degree to the Ravens or some other team. We talked about Kaepernick earlier and his time with Greg Roman in San Francisco. And this is something we've discussed with Jackson in the past. Why aren't they unlocking the passing ability with Jackson that we saw with Kaepernick? Those 2 Green Bay games.
Yeah, because Jackson and Kaepernick are the exact same person.
2012 playoffs, he runs roughshod over the Packers. Playoff record for a quarterback in rushing, 185 yards, I think it was, something like that. Week 1 of the next season, Packers, 49ers. The Packers determined to keep him from running, and he slices and dices them for 400-plus passing yards.
But doesn't Lamar have multiple 400-plus passing yards and 5 touchdowns? And hasn't he done that a lot? So he's carved up people too. Like, you just haven't watched the games. You're bringing up a lot of stats that are disproven.
Take away the run. Well, I feel like with the Ravens, they try to take away the run by Lamar Jackson, and it still works, so he still keeps running. And I really would love to know when they get...
It's weird that Lamar Jackson would want to run even with as being one of the fastest guys in the league. Weird that he would want to have the ball in his hands and run.
Calling the game. Do they keep going back to the plays that they know work, even though they would like to throw the ball? Does Lamar Jackson exercise discretion to not throw and take off and run? There's an answer somewhere in
I think there's
the play-in and play-out approach. Yeah. That either he's choosing not to throw it, or Greg Roman is dialing up these plays where he runs the ball because, like a kid playing Madden or a grown man, as the case may be, I got 3 plays that work, and I just keep using them over and over again.
Well, I mean, yeah, there is some of that. I do. I think like you kind of hit on all, and I think it can kind of be all of those things. You know, one, hey, Kaepernick, when he was doing that stuff, the league was still getting used to it. And like, holy crap, how do we defend all these things? I don't know what the hell to do. And
There's a big difference between Kaepernick and Lamar.
Run this type of offense where they understand maybe now how to defend it a little bit better. So I would say that, you know, you and I have definitely had the conversation of, hey, you know, I wish Greg Roman and that passing offense was a hair more creative. You know, I'm sure, I mean, maybe, but I don't like sit there and just go, oh man, the offense it's really limited. It's still good enough, but I think maybe there's some of the aspect you're talking about from Lamar's aspect too. Hey, we don't need to make it overly complicated. We're going to run the ball. We got this group of passing plays, and if this passing play doesn't work, well, we got a guy that can kind of get out of the pocket and make things happen that way. But at some point, you know, and I think that's what we saw a little last year is, wait, maybe not going to make all the magic all the time, and we need to have a little bit more in the passing offense and be better at executing that.
Not the best season, but I mean, did miss a lot.
Lamar needs to give them the confidence to expand to a degree, because there's certainly games down the stretch before he got hurt where, you know, he wasn't seeing the field that well. He was missing receivers. He was making bad decisions. You know, but so there's growth there for sure. But I think you're kind of right. There's a few things that are at play there to why it is what it is in Baltimore.
In Arizona, there's another issue as the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Where is
now they're talking about Kyler Murray. So that's going to be it for this video. Mike Florio's making more money than you. Just remember that, for making up a bunch of statistics and trying to analyze nothing and making up stuff. But that's, I guess, what these guys are. But I appreciate people for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and then Lamar clapped back. He said, Lamar wants to be Lamar, Chris. This part of OTAs is voluntary, my guy. I will be there, just not on your watch. It's probably other QBs not attending voluntary OTAs either, but since it's Lamar, it's a huge deal. Find something else to talk about. Say it, Lamar. Get him. Yeah, that's Lamar's reply to them, and I'll let you guys get your own thoughts about this.